Smash Factor.
Ripping driver, going for it. Oh my goodness. How about that tee shot?
That is crazy how far that is.
Wow. John Daly, take a back seat, big fella. How about that drive?
That's an aggressive line. That is beyond long.
Look at this. He's just driven the green. He has just driven the green.
I guess hello world, huh?
PGA Tour. We are live with the Honda Classic this week. Exciting week. I'm looking forward to it. Always one of my favorite tournaments. Obviously a little sad. Most likely won't get to get out there this year. Hopefully, maybe. I may get to. We'll see how this. We got a little 77 degrees yesterday and is now 30 and dropping. We got ice, snow, sleet coming in over the next 24 to 36 hours. So kind of see how all that shakes out. Told OG John I may try to fly out, Friday afternoon or something like that, and then be there for Saturday, Sunday. We'll see how the week goes. Mama Gup is out of town. Left yesterday. She won't be back till Thursday. So it is a very early Tuesday morning. Got one kid off to the bus stop. The other one is getting ready right now. So I'm going to get this knocked out, take him to school. They got some things to do, but we will march on as normal. Before we get into the Honda, last week, obviously the Riv, the Genesis Invitational, tremendous tournament, great weekend for the Gups Corner community. Not only that, Daytona, the duels, trucks, Xfinity, and then NBA had a little bit of break with the All-Star weekend and all that. Our boy Tommy in UFC goes 11-1 on his DFS picks, betting picks. So if you did some MMA last week, one of the first weeks I've taken off MMA because I had so much going on, between all the other things and then personal life stuff going on that I decided to sit this one out. So maybe I'm bad luck. Maybe I need to take off and let Tommy just keep killing it. But, man, the community killed it altogether. Cam Young was the doc of the week. I don't want to go quite that maybe we got to call it like Doc Young of the week or something. But it was close. I mean, he was – I didn't even see what his final was, but, he's projected at 2.6. He was right around there in most contests, not like Gups Corner Listener League. He was like a 10 or 11, but most bigger contests, very low owned. Neiman was in the core. Rory was in the core. Cantley was in the core, which Cantley didn't have a great week, but I think of my lineup that I had. A lot of great core pieces out there, and it showed with the results. Personally, I had a great week. Got 4 milli tickets for the Players Championship. Those are worth $2,222 each. Spent $39 on each one of those contests. So I'm in for about a little less than $160, and I got 4 2222s. We'll talk about that a little bit, maybe more on E9, something like that. What do I do now? Now that I have 4, do I up my trying for it to get more? The answer will be I'll have more going towards Qs than I typically would when you start off with a bang like that, which is rare. I've really only done that one other time where I've got that many that quick. So I'm way ahead on my ROI there. I'll have to analyze how I do that compared to my normal bankroll. Made another 10,000 plus net between NASCAR and PGA. Made great money on the duels. I say that like I know what it is. I'm still learning it, but all I do is listen to Ryan and now Jimbo taking over Xfinity and trucks. So that and the other PGA stuff outside of the 4 tickets had another 7,000 or 8,000. So plus a NASCAR profit. So looking forward to more of that. NASCAR's back this week. Betting wise, we hit Neiman finally. We've been so close. And then we had Cam Young for the top 20. Not going to say I wasn't rooting for – Neiman's my boy. Y'all know that. He's made me a lot of money in the past starting in 2018. But, the Young ticket would have been 225 to 1. And then I think if Young would have flipped Neiman, I know it would have bumped me up. I think I took 10th in that $3.20 max deal they had last week, the micro week or whatever. I jumped in it because not many had Young, and they had Neiman, and the differential in there to flip him to first definitely would have helped. but I'm not complaining on the week. We'll take both those hits. I think matchups were a little bit of a loss. I don't know if I got Sunday's results in there yet, but I'll definitely update that. But overall, definitely profit finally. Neiman bringing home the winning ticket. So that's awesome. Some shout outs. Kong 08 had a good main slate, but he crushed round 4. Our boy Samson taking over the showdown articles there. I toss in a few items every once in a while as I can, but he's doing great. Great feedback on that. Dank 2005 takes down the Fantasy Degenerate Listener League, our listener league, and then took, I don't know what place it was, but he played the $3 3 max and won another $500. So tremendous week for him. He's a guy that's I talked to him on the side. $60 to $70 a week guy. So utilize. We talked about this last week. Utilizing your proper contest, getting in the right stuff, and that's what he did. And definitely, I don't know if he'll upgrade a little bit this week. Hopefully, not too much. Keep that bankroll going and building it, and utilizing it correctly. And then my Blanton's buddy, I love his picture in the GC Warrior Room. WS23 Bo took second in the Millie Maker for 100K. Good week from him. He was a little bit back from first, so I don't want to say he was close, but he definitely was climbing on that week. I was watching it, saw him going up there. Glad to see him take second in the 444 Millie Maker as well. Did have some questions because I do play in the 888 or 555, whatever it is, week to week. 444, because I would have won both those. I would have won the 888 and the Millie Maker. I'd have won the Millie Maker, both of them kind of going away, but 444 I didn't really regret not, because the only way I was going to get into that, the payout structure was heavy at first, was if I had tickets, and I tried a little bit but not much. Had some sweat last, not the OPA, I was in Waste Management, had a little bit of sweat in a showdown where I could have got a ticket, but outside of that, it wasn't a big deal. The 888 I did look at. I just decided I stayed with my process. I knew how I was going to handle the next 5 or 6 weeks. I looked at putting a couple in there as opposed to doing some of what I did. Didn't end up doing it. I don't regret it. Is what it is. Had a great week. It was a little bit different when a contest that you do play frequently, you would have shipped by like 40 points. You kind of go, dang. But not really. It is what it is. Probably my biggest mistake on the week, and I didn't realize it till Sunday, is I only played 3 lineups last week. Besides that $20 deal, I threw that in kind of late. Was typically, I always put my three lineups, so the same ones that would be in the Gups Corner Listener League or whatever else I'm playing, in the $20. And I just missed, I just forgot. Crazy week last week, a lot of stuff going on. And I think that cost me, I think I would have finished 9th in the $20 or something like that, just with my 3 lineups. The big one, obviously, that I got cashed on, another couple $1,000s. But, that was probably my only biggest mistake. The other stuff, I ruled out the process of playing it, so it didn't bother me too much. On to this week, we're going to keep it rolling. I told you guys we've been close, and we have, and we finally bust out, ready to keep going again. Want to join us? Smash 20% off any package, 7-day free trial included. Get you everything going this week. NASCAR, more UFC, NBA will fire back up, and then of course Honda Classic, which we've had pretty good success on, especially on the DFS side over the years. Subscribe and like this video on YouTube. In the comment section, tell me who you want to play in the 10K range. I'll be starting up the March to the Master stuff here in the next probably 2 weeks or so, working on some things behind the scenes. For sure, anybody that leaves comments, that'll get you into the drawing, just like we did the last one. Rate and review us on iTunes. That always gets you into any big drawings we're doing. We're going to do it big for the Masters again this year, like we normally do. Listener League, like I said, link is in the description. Up to 400 this week. We filled it really early last week. I appreciate that. Please go do it again this week. Let's get this thing up for the Players Championship, up to 500 or something for that, 600. And let's try to get it to about 750 or so for the Masters. That's kind of my goal. Really appreciate it. Links in the description. It's a 3 max deal. If you're new, I know we got a lot of new followers. Limited rate, flat payouts. Appreciate that. Like I said, Dank 2005 wins it last week. He had X, Rory, Scott, Neiman, Young, and Kokrak. Great lineup. Beat me out. I took second. Beat me out by 3.5 points. Congrats to him. Happy for him. Course preview this week. Always go check out Kenny Kim's article on the website. He touched on it on his podcast as well. PGA National. Of course, obviously I'm very familiar with. I think I've been going Oh, gee, you'd have to remind me. My first year, 2017, I think, was my first year going down there and meeting with him. Only year I hadn't made it till this year was last year. It's actually the last thing. It was the DFS Open in 2020, and then we went the next week, I think, or week after. Tambo and I went to the Waste Management, and then like a week after the Waste, the world shut down with the pandemic. But par 70, 7,150 yards. We know this. 2 par 5s, 4 par 3s. Some of the toughest par 3s out there as a group. Probably the toughest par 3s on the tour. Always ranks inside the top 10 or top 5 hardest places on the tour. The par 5s are the easiest holes. That's where you kind of make your money. Bermuda greens. Tons of trouble around here. We know the water, the bear trap, 5, 6, and 7 are also extremely difficult. 6 may be one of the hardest holes on the tour, period. Very high scores can be had. We can see the cut be extremely high. We can see it. You can have a guy rolling along. I looked last year, look at some of the leaderboard stuff, and you got guys that, JB Holmes shoots, I don't know what he shot, 8 over on the last day. He's in the final group and barely makes the top 50. Those kind of swings can happen. So there's no lead safe. There's no cut projection safe, anything like that. Looks right now warm all week, no rain at all. We don't have to worry about that, so that's good. Strongest winds right now are going to be on Thursday, dying down a hair Friday, and then the weekend actually looks decent. That doesn't help us much because the biggest deal is going to be the cut. And also, do we have a significant wave advantage? Right now, none per se. I think there could be. Obviously, I'll bring out the heat maps tomorrow for the premium members if need be. I'm going to wait to I'm going to, like I always do every year or anytime we have this, I want my pool to be my pool. And then we'll definitely look at the heat maps and advantages and see how our natural guys we like fall within that. And if we have to make some adjustments, we definitely will. I do think the cut could be high, but the winning score be a little lower. Not lower than normal, just because if the weekend settles down, these guys. This cut probably could be putt +3, +2 to +4 is where I'd put it. We've seen it as high as +6. It wouldn't be. I don't think we're going to see that extreme wins for it to get that high, but I could see anywhere from +2 to +4, and then we see single-digit winners out here quite a bit. Probably around that -9. It will probably get you there, be real close come Sunday. Like I said, look, the last 7, 8, 9 years, 9 under, 8, 6, 9, 12, 8, 9, 6, 12. And the 12 winners, Matt Jones last year, 5-stroke win, and then Ricky Fowler, 4-stroke win. So, and then when you look at, I think I looked at the last 5 years, and like 78% of the field that made the cut, obviously, didn't finish better than 3 under. So, the biggest deal about that is how much the finishing positions will matter this week, which is normally something you can't really factor in, right? You always want guys up there, but typically you'll have guys that we talk about all the time, like, hey, Cam Davis can finish 40th, and, outdo his finishing position. It's because all the birdies and eagles. You're not going to see that much of that this week. You're going to need guys up there in the top 20. And why that matters, and we'll get into it more definitely on some of the premium content, is, is it play safer week? I don't know how you do that necessarily, but it's definitely a week where we think about, hey, I need guys up there that can grind this thing out and be there, because having guys up there and getting the finishing position points and grinding out, it's going to be rare to find a guy that's like 33rd and he just had a whole bunch of birdies and eagles and his DK scoring is like 12th. On some tournaments, we see that a lot because he had one bad hole. Like, I'm using Cam Davis just because I see him blow up sometimes, but he may get a quad and he finishes 34th, but he had 2 eagles, 6 birdies, or 16 birdies and all this stuff, and it's like, oh shit, he had 12th in DK points. So definitely a grinder week. Past winners, like I said, Jones, Sungjae, Keith Mitchell, JT, Fowler, Scott. Fowler is a runner-up. Brooks, List, Garcia, Knox. Henley's won. Henley's runner-up. Palmer's had a couple runner-ups. Rory's won here the few times he's played. Stats I'm looking at this week: good drives, stroke gain irons, bogey avoidance, scoring opportunities inside 18 feet, and accurate approach. New to the course this year, 30 guys have not played this at all since 2016. Salary ranges 5 in the 10K, 7 in the 9K, 10 in the 8K, 38 in the 7K, 79 in the 6K. We do the Sweet 16 as normal. If you're new, I do my favorite 3 in each salary range. 9K and above I include together. Then I give a bubble boy as well. Fade of the week, sleeper of the week, gut feel plays of the week, betting top 5 that pop in 2 long shots provided by Monkey Knife Fight, and then we wrap it up. I try to keep it 25, 30 minutes, get all the pertinent information. I will do a pod on Wednesdays as well that wraps up kind of a deep dive, final thoughts type scenario after we've done all the extensive research. So if you're new, come check that one out. That one's normally only 15 minutes max as well. 9K and above, I'm going to go with Sung Jae. I don't mind paying up for him. I think I can get unique with some of the other places I want to go, even if it's multiple 7K and sprinkle in a 6K. Never missed a cut here, a 51st, a 1st, and an 8th. 33rd at the Genesis, 6th at the Farmers, number 1 in my overall model. I will preference that there won't be much chalk I want to eat this week. So by the time we get to tomorrow night and all that stuff, you'll see my core and all that. Anybody I'm willing to move off this week if they're super high owned. There may be 1 or 2 that I go, I'm just going with them. I don't care how high owned they are. I don't know how high owned he'll be. I definitely think him and Berger will be up there. I don't know how many go back to Neiman. Usti will probably get some love, but just because I think it's hard to build. I think people are very comfortable going down in the 6s and stuff. But this week, I think you embrace it to some extent. What we got in the field right now, I think it's 140. It's not the 156. You'll see 4 more guys come in from the queue. So you'll probably be around that 144 number. I'm going to go with Sung Jae right now. Then I'm going to go Brooks. Loves this place. Hit or miss here, 26 in the second, then 2 missed cuts. Obviously missed a cut last week. 10-1. I think people just have it in their head on the, he only plays, majors well, so on and so forth. I do think there's a little bit of him wanting to find his groove heading into the major season, maybe the TPC season. He doesn't play this every year. He's missed it in 2018, 2021. So seeing that he wants to come back here and play it, I'm interested in him. I assume he's going to be low owned. That's one of my biggest deals on wanting to get to him. He's okay right now. Stats, he's fine. He's top 20. You're just trusting he shows up here. He does and I always put him in that class of when it's a tournament, if he goes in there thinking I got to shoot 2 or 3 under every day and I can be right there or win it, I think Brooks likes that. He don't have to worry about a whole bunch of, making birdies. He can grind very well. So I'll go to him, and I'll go to Berger. I'm interested to see what his ownership is. We know the back issues. Hasn't been himself since the Farmers. He withdrew from Pebble, missed a cut at Waste, didn't play last week. He missed the first 2 cuts here, 2016, 2017. Outside of that, he's done great. 29th, 36th, and 4th. My only deal with him would be, do we get the ownership? Do we think people will jump to him? I don't think so. I think they'll go elsewhere. Don't want to take the risk this week. Why not do it this week? I mean, there's all kinds of other risks. You're going to see guys that, you love, and all of a sudden they get a triple, then a double, through the bear trap, and you're like, oh, shit, what am I doing now? So, again, another guy that I think I can pick off at lower ownership than he should be. Has played this course well, played it enough. I like him this week. And then my bubble bull is Wolf. I like Wolf as long as he doesn't become the popular guy. The last time he became popular throughout the week, he did not do well. And then he made his 60, he finished 64th at the Farmers. He's 9,200, so we're paying up for him. He's only played this once, got a 58. He's a guy that needs to get right. So I think, he's not a guy I see coming here just to be here. Like, this isn't a course to come and work on your game and all that. Like, this is a grinder, kick you in the nut type of course. So I see motivation there. I see him wanting to get his game turned around. Loves Bermuda putting. He's 33rd in the field. As long as he doesn't get steamed up all week, I like Wolf at 9,200. AK, the first one I'll tell you I love, but I do fear I may be off of him because of the skyrocket ownership would be Mito. Loved how he finished last week. He was in my lineup last week. He was a big key with that strong finish on Sunday, getting up to 15th. He had 2 miscuts before that, but anybody that's been here for a while knows that I've been on him for many weeks. I don't play. He's the one guy that I'll have to make that tough decision, 36 hours from now going, can I eat the chalk? Because I don't see how he's not high owned at 8,900. He's got plenty of stats now that I don't even have to say limited stats, and they're all fairly recent. So that's, for me, a little bit even better. He's 6th in accurate approach, 1st in bogey avoidance, 13th in stroke gain irons, and 6th in good drives. I mean, that's just great. And at that price, he's a one guy I may be willing to eat chalk on. We'll see. Aaron Wise, I have been off of him, but he has been popular, and he's not really done well. So I'm wondering how people will jump back at him at 8,400, a miscut, and a 67th. Here he's done great. 3 made cuts, never missed a cut since 2016, a 33rd, a 35th, and a 13th. Stats are okay. He's 28th overall, recent form 19th, course fit 7th. Good price. I'm interested to see because I don't want to say he's been a darling, but he's been used and he's not rewarded anybody. So I'm hoping he kind of says, I'm done with Wise. And now we go hit him. May hit him in the betting market type of deal as well, but definitely like him for DK. Jonathan Vegas, flirted with him a few times. He's not done anything crazy. But he's made his first 2 cuts out here, Farmers and the Genesis, a 39th and 55th, 5 straight made cuts at the Honda. That's pretty impressive to me. A 4th, a 72nd, a 16th, a 27th, and a 30th. 1 great finish, 3 good finishes, top 30, 8,500. I don't hate it. There's upside there. Decent recent form in the field. Really struggled putting some, but now we're over here on Bermuda. Maybe that helps some. His splits wouldn't suggest that per se, but I don't mind Vegas this week. I don't think he'll be too talked up, so that may be leverage. And then Bubble Boy would be Cam Young. Loved him last week. I love him this week. Big price jump. Last week he was 6,700. We're up to 8,600. Do people willing to pay for him? And they go, I'm not going there. Man, dude looked like he had all the game in the world last week. And every time he got kicked, he jumped back. And I love that. I talked about that with several other guys. Alex Smalley, we'll talk about him in a minute. Guys that, doubles on Saturday and you think he can just let it go. He bounces back with a birdie, fights in there, misses so many short putts on Sunday or probably would have won, fights back, stays in it. A 20th at Farmers, 26th at Waste Management, and a 2nd at Genesis. I'll jump back on Cam Young. I just won't. I don't know how, between him and Mito, if they're both super chalk, I'll have to make a tough decision there. So that's why he's the Bubble Boy. 7K for me, Chris Kirk. I still have nightmares of last year. I'm in the top 5 of the Millie Maker at the TPC, and his Sunday and back 9 was no bueno with a bunch of water. So it scares me a little bit. He's got a missed roller coaster here, miscut 33rd, miscut 25th. Enough upside here, though, 7,500, coming off of 14th at Waste. I like his iron game a lot. Bogey avoidance, he's 7th. I'll go to some Chris Kirk this week. Ryan Palmer, you'll hear a lot about him leading the field at the water, at the Bear Trap, and I think he does, or he's up there. But his last 5 years here, a 26th, a 37th, a miscut, a 4th, and a 17th. And that 4th, we were there with him. We walked the entire last 14 holes with him. We got him live 500 to 1 that morning. Went out early. Winds were going to be picking up. I think he started birdie. And then when he stuck it on the 3rd hole and had a chance at eagle, we hit him live, and he was way back. He was one of the first guys out that morning. Got it all away. Had about a 9-footer on 18. If he makes that, he would have wound up being in the playoff with Mitchell that year. So he loses by 1. I think wind up maybe losing by 2, but he was right there, goes out early, but he has great history here, right? Only missed a cut 1. So he loves the rest of the course if he does put a lot of water in, and he's able to grind back, right? We know he's going to struggle at times. The water's scary. Maybe ownership's down because of that, but I don't mind Palmer. Alex Smalley, just mentioned him, 7,100. Never played it. Maybe a little bit of worry, but I don't care too much about that this week. I do like his grinded out mentality. 32nd in bogey avoidance, 10th in opportunities inside 18 feet, 13th great approach, 24th good drives. No great finishes as of late, but he's been there. Made the weekend twice out of the last 3 tournaments. 7,100. I don't mind him. I just feel like his mentality, what I've seen and watched, and this is kind of anecdotal, where he can grind out some stuff here, and I'll be on him this week at 7,100. And then Higo. Nothing really negative about him. I like him. I had to put someone as a Bubble Boy. Hasn't played this at all. He's only played once in the last 4 weeks. He got 21st at Waste. That'd be probably my only negative. Hadn't seen him a lot. Stat-wise, he's all right. 5th in good drives, 31st in bogey avoidance. Then the other stats are all 50th to 60th. I don't mind him at all. $7,300. I'll go to him. I don't think he'll get popular. There was a time where he was getting a little bit chalky, but I don't see it. But I like some Higo this week. 6K, Smotherman. We played him at the Farmers. He got 11th. Ran it back at Pebble. He got 33rd. Been doing great. he does have still in that limited stats. You got to look at your ranges and stuff when you're doing that. Has not played here, but $6,800. Bogey avoidance is probably the only thing that scares me. He's 17th, 15th, 19th, and 5th in my other 5 stats, 66th in bogey avoidance. But I do think he can score where he'll be a guy that can bounce back and forth between, a bogey, a birdie, a bogey, a birdie type. We a little bit concerned on the bogey avoidance would be my only deal, but at 6,800, I don't mind taking the chance there. He's also 130th in Bermuda putting. That's one note I have to say, how many Bermuda rounds do we have coming in my time frame? Outside of that, I love him this week. Buckley, shockingly, he played this in 2020. Didn't realize it. Made the cut like that, 69th. Stat-wise, he looks great. 4th in bogey avoidance, 2nd in accurate approach. A little bit up and down start so far, but at $6,600, I'll take the risk there. A miscut, a 49th, and a miscut his last 3 tournaments. But I don't mind, taking that volatility in this week at all at that price. And then Bo Hostler, we've seen some flashes of him here. A little trimmed down Bo. 2 straight made cuts here. He's only played here twice, never missed a cut. A 38th and a 60th for $6,900. I'll go there. Miscut 3rd, miscut 48th his last 4. Which, it's all right. It's good. 3rd at Pebbles, obviously great. That's kind of Bo, though. I mean, he'll miss a cut. He'll be there on the weekend. If he gets out with the putter, certainly can make a run. He's 11th in bogey avoidance, 10th in good drive, and 23rd in accurate approach. All things I like, especially for anybody under 7K this week. And then Duff Daddy, $6,200. A little nervous because he's not had the best recent form. Miscut, last 2 out of 4. But last 6 years, he's made the cut 5 times here. A 61st, a 14th, a 17th, a 27th, and a 53rd with a miscut in 2018. But my good thing there is I just don't mind fading him. I like the high upside where he got 2 top 20s and a 27th there. So I'll go Duffner this week for the Bubble Boy, $6,200. Not much to risk there. Fade of the week for me, guy I've heard a lot of so far, Billy Ho. I will pass on that right now. We'll see how that shakes out by tomorrow. Sleeper of the week for me, Hickok. Only player twice, a 31st and a 21st. I love those results. I'll go there. I think he'll be low owned at $6,800. Gut feel plays of the week for me, Gary Woodland, Nick Taylor, Sam Ryder, and CT Pan. All guys that are right there bunched up in my rankings, right around the same price-ish, 7,200 to 8,200. CT Pan, good results here. Woodland could get a chalky, 5 straight made cuts here, an 8th and a 2nd. Ryder's only played here twice, 2 made cuts, a 53rd and an 8th. And the Nick Taylor, I like a 30th and a miscut. Upside we've seen in the last recent weeks, a 30th at Farmers and a 14th at Pebble. Those 4 guys are guys that kind of didn't fit above, but I still like this week. Betting, Monkey Knife Fight, dollar for dollar match, up to $100. Top 5 the pop and 2 long shots. Click on the link, use GUPS, GUPS, get that free dollar for dollar match up to $100. I like Cam Young at 50 to 1. I know it's not last week's number, but a different field. Chris Kirk, 66. Palmer, 66. Wolf, 40. Noren, 33. Smotherman, 150. And Buckley, 150 are my 2 long shots there at the bottom. I'll have my full outrights going later on today, and then I'll kind of circle back around, finish all that up like I've been doing on Wednesday, get the final bets in, see how the board moves. I think the board will move quite a bit throughout the day today, so I hadn't locked anything in. I'll probably go lighter on betting in general as far as outrights because you can get some really good live numbers. And guys, because they don't have to climb a lot, can make some movement up in a hurry. We saw that with Palmer, that I want some of that bankroll on the weekend where I can hit things live, especially in today's world. One and done. I'll have my top 5 picks out again tomorrow. I take 3 from that for my personal if you're new. So I'll do that tomorrow. And maybe see if we can get Kenny Kim in for some E9. If not, I may go solo. See how this weather's doing, but I should be able to sneak it in tomorrow as well. Don't forget Smash, 20% off, free trial, 7 days included. Hit up that iTunes rate and review, like and subscribe us on YouTube. Tell me your favorite play in the 10K range. Then we'll get going. We got a lot to go this week. I'm looking forward to another big week for the Honda Classic. Some great content coming out for not only this, but also NASCAR and UFC. Come check us out. Appreciate the support. I will be back tomorrow with the deep dive and final thoughts as well. Thank you.